Why is Gangle subservient to Jax and also afraid of him? In the second episode, it was made clear that Jax is directly manipulating Gangle. In this scene, Gangle had to ram the crocodile truck because Jax told her to. Otherwise, he would have told Ragatha about the figurine. But what could that figurine be? I also figured out what might be going on in the plot of episode 4 of the Digital Circus, and I'm going to tell you about it a little bit later. By the way, somewhere in the video, I hid a picture of Kinger, and anyone who finds it will get one interesting theory in the comments. As we've seen, Gangle is always wary of Jax and allows him to do bad things to her. In Pilot, it was Jax who first pushed both Gangle and Kinger into the hole that led to the Gloinks, and the other characters don't even pay any attention to it. It seems like this has happened many times before if no one cares anymore. When the escalator that took the characters back to the surface appears, Jax first gave way to Gangle, then changed his mind and pushed her away. In the second episode, Jax's behavior with Gangle was even worse. When Jax didn't like the steering in the candy truck, he told Gangle to be the one to drive. He didn't ask her opinion, he put her on the spot. Then, when everyone was already in the truck, Gangle suggested that the bandits be treated less harshly, to which Jax rudely told her that she had an obligation to be more compliant and cooperative, so she shouldn't cross him and she should keep driving the truck. Then, during the chase with the crocodiles, Jax demanded that Gangle start ramming the bandits' tanker truck with the truck. If she didn't, Jax promised to tell Ragatha Gangle's secret about some figurine. This turned out to be so important to Gangle that she did as Jax told her. Eventually, at the end of the chase, Kinger threw the anchor outside the truck, but the anchor was tied to the truck. This caused all the trucks to fly downward, straight into the chocolate river where the fudge monster lives. As the truck flew down, Jax told Gangle that it was her fault for what happened. This made Gangle very sad. At the end of the episode, when Pomni and Gummigo are on their way back to Candy Canyon, Gangle is looking through binoculars at the road. Jax doesn't ask her permission, but simply picks up the binoculars the moment he himself wanted to look at Pomni and Gummigoo's truck flying in the distance. From all of this, we can conclude that Gangle is very afraid of Jax because he allows him to do so wrong. Gooseworks was once asked a question on Tumblr about the attitude of all the other characters towards Jax. The creator replied that no one actually likes Jax because of his actions. I have a theory as to why Gangle is so afraid of Jax. We know that Jax gave his name to himself and Gangle when he got into the Digital Circus. This probably means that the two characters together entered the Digital Circus at the same time. Therefore, Jax and Gangle were friends with each other at first. While they were friends, Jax and Gangle explored the Digital Circus together and found ways to get into other characters' rooms to learn their secrets. And when they were in Ragatha's room, Gangle either carelessly broke a figure that belonged to Ragatha or secretly took it for herself. This figure was dear to Ragatha, and she was very upset, and Gangle never had the courage to admit it. Then something happened that made Gangle and Jax quarrel, and Jax likes to make fun of others as long as it brings him pleasure. And this is where the fun part comes in. Gooseworks was once asked about what was the worst thing Jax had done. She replied that we would have the opportunity to see it with our own eyes. My theory is that in episode 4, Gangle will tell Pomni and Ragatha the whole truth. Ragatha will learn from Gangle about what happened to her figure, and Gangle will also talk about her fight with Jax. In her song in the music video, Gangle sings about how all she asked Jax to do is not break her mask. In the pilot and the second episode, Jax isn't directly involved in breaking the Mask of Joy, but in the pilot he still steps on it, finally breaking the mask. It's clear from this song that Jax was always somehow involved in breaking Gangle's mask. I think that when they were fighting, Jax punched Gangle in the face out of anger. Because of this, Gangle's Mask of Joy was broken the very first time, and Gangle was incredibly depressed. Because of this incident, which is still very painful for Gangle to this day, she is always cheerful when she is wearing her Joy Mask, and she is always very depressed when the Mask of Joy breaks. Gangle believes that only wearing the Mask of Joy can she feel like she used to, and like nothing happened. Therefore, the mask has become a must-have for happiness, and the Mask of Sadness immediately reminds her of a long-standing quarrel and unresolved conflict. Moreover, Jax must have enjoyed breaking Gangle's Mask of Joy and making her unpleasant in this way. For this reason, Jax began to break the Mask of Joy again to play pranks on Gangle and get back at her. But that's not all about how episode 4 will tie into Gangle. What else might be going on in it? We know that each of the next episodes will focus on one of the main characters. Episode 3 will definitely reveal Zubal's secrets, why she hates Kane's adventures so much and refuses to participate in them, and why Jax is constantly getting on Zubal's nerves. Also, most likely, the location in the fourth episode will be Fast Food Court, and the new character who will give the main characters a task will be Orbsman. What do we know about the fourth episode? I predict that it will be in episode 4 that the characters will go to the haunted house and meet the remaining new characters. Martha Mildenhall, that little oval-shaped ghost and that mysterious sound cassette player. Based on the characters in the new location, it's clear that the main theme of the new adventure in episode 4 will be the very fear that the characters feel when they find themselves in the digital circus. I'm sure that absolutely all the characters are afraid of the dangers of the digital circus in their own way, but there are 2 characters who stand out from the rest. They are the ones who can be described as the most fearful of all. They are Kinger and Gangle. In one of the old teasers, it was Kane who placed Gangle and Kinger together inside a gumball machine to scare them. In the pilot, the 2 characters stood together for a very long time next to the hole that led to the Glowinks cave. Without Jax, they would have continued to be afraid, causing them to never be able to decide who would go there first. It seems to me that because of this, Kane will be picking up similar challenges for Kinger and Gangle. It appears that episode 4 will focus on either Kinger or Gangle. I believe that it is Gangle's secrets that will be revealed in the 4th episode, because we have already been announced an episode about Gangle and her masks. Once upon a time on Tumblr, Gooseworks was asked about whether Gangle would get the ability to stay in her mask of joy for longer than a couple minutes at the beginning of each episode. And Gooseworks replied that the issue of Gangle's masks will be the subject of an entire episode. And in my opinion, the haunted house is perfect for the fearful Gangle to overcome her fears. But there's another interesting detail. The thing is, one of Gangle's biggest fears in all of Digital Circus is the other main character. We're talking about Jax, of course. In episode 4, when Gangle confesses everything to Pomni and Ragatha, she'll get support from her friends. Gangle will learn to accept all her emotions, happy and sad, as a sign of freedom from her addiction to the mask of joy. In the 4th episode, Gangle herself breaks her mask of joy for the last time. She will never wear it again, for she will realize that she doesn't need it. She needs good people around her. What do you think about it? Who will the 4th episode be dedicated to? Why is Gangle afraid of Jax? Do you agree with my theory that they had a fight? Write your theories in the comments, and I'll be sure to read them. The best comments will make it into the next video. Also, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Good luck, everyone, and bye-bye.